Hello and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Specialist Garrett Dackle with 11th Signal Brigade.
And I am your other co-host, Samantha Farlow with the Garrison Public Affairs Office. And you were listening to Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
All right, welcome into this week's episode. We have two very special guests with us. Would you care to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Command Sergeant Major Esteban Alvarado Jr. I'm the Command Sergeant Major for the Headquarters and Headquarters Battalion, 1st Cavalry Division.
And I'm Corporal Esteban Alvarado III. I'm a Bradley Fighting Vehicle Maintainer with 38 Cav, 1st Division, or Cavalry Division.
All right, so I noticed very similar names there. Can you tell me what's going on with that?
Yeah, but how do we look? Do we look similar?
You know, I wanted to say something about that, but I didn't want to come off as a little too forward, you know? I kind of wanted to see how it played out.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when we come through the gates, when we signed in at the 3rd Corps Headquarters, you know, people don't want to ask. They do a double take and, you know, they say we look very similar, very much alike. And then, of course, we have the same name, Esteban Alvarado Jr. in the 3rd. But yes, I have had the pleasure, truly, of serving with my son here in the 1st Cavalry Division for myself for the last 7 months, 7 months. And my son's been in the 1st Cavalry Division for about a year now. Father-son duo, kind of holding it down in the 1st Cav. Absolutely.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. I like to hear it. So how do you like working with your father at the 1st Cav?
So I think it's been an awesome experience. So I have my father and a great mentor and a leader that I can trust whenever I have problems. So the overall experience has been amazing.
All right. Has he ever gotten you into trouble?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say trouble, right? It's been, you know, as you can imagine, the Command Sergeants Major Corps in the 1st Cavalry Division, we you know, we're a strong corps. We, you know, we talk a lot. We have a great, you know, kind of battle buddy type relationship. And so my headquarters, my battalion headquarters is right next door to his battalion headquarters. And so I get the opportunity to talk to his battalion Command Sergeant Major on a regular basis, just to check up on him. You know, it's
right.
It's always that interesting part where you want to be you know, you're a father, right? He's my son, but I don't want to overstep that father boundary, right? And so, but yes, there's been times when I see him stepping out of line that I gotta reel him back in, you know, both as a senior non-commissioned officer and as a father.
Right.
So that's been great. That's been an awesome part about being able to serve with my son. And I've been in the Army for 27 years, and you know, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd, you know, be serving in the same division with my son, I'd never believe it. But it's been great. Absolutely.
Oh, that is awesome. So was your father a major decision factor in joining the Army?
Yeah, so all throughout my life, I've been an Army brat, so always seeing him in uniform, seeing all his gear, being around like military vehicles and bases has always put the idea in my head, like, hey, I think I want to join the Army. So my whole life I have already known what I wanted to do.
Wow. Yeah, it must have been pretty cool seeing all that old gear, and now you get kind of the new gear. You're like, hey, Dad, look what I got. I got the good stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's been, you know, we never really talked about it, you know, when our, you know, I have a daughter as well, and she's not in the Army, obviously, but when our kids were growing up, it never entered my mind that, you know, my son may want to join the Army. It's just something that I didn't really think about, quite frankly. But, you know, it's funny thing is I was actually in the Sergeant's Major Academy, right? I think I was in the Sergeant Major Academy when I joined the Army. And I didn't take my family, which I regret now, but they were back in Virginia. And, you know, I think he called me one day and said, hey, I want to join the Army. And I don't even know what I told him, but, you know, I think it was a quick conversation of, yeah, I mean, if that's something you want to do, I said, don't sign any paperwork until you call me first. And of course, he didn't listen to me. He signed paperwork.
Yeah, naturally.
Right? Just whatever. I don't need your help. He just.
I did get a bonus though.
He did get a bonus.
There you go.
He got a bonus.
Right.
I didn't get a bonus when I joined the Army, so it was a great decision. But yeah, so it was something I never really thought about that he would want to join the Army, and we're certainly, me and my wife are certainly proud, and he's been doing great things since he's been in the Army, and so yeah, it's awesome. It's great.
Awesome. So what do you have planned for this Father's Day weekend? Anything special?
Yes. What do you have planned?
Don't really
I would
want to
have
say
to know.
too much, but me and my wife, Carla, we're planning some things
Okay,
along with.
that's good to know. Yes, I think I sent. Every Sunday we do a family dinner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every Sunday, right? So there's been some Sundays that me and my wife honestly have tried to get out of it, but my son doesn't allow us to. My son and my daughter, they don't allow us to. So I think last Sunday I made an announcement at the dinner table of the 5 or 6 things that I wanted for Father's Day. And so usually I get, and don't get me wrong, I love the gifts I get, but usually I get golf things, which I love to golf. So golf things, I get shirts, standard Father's Day things, right?
Right.
Shirts, socks.
Yeah.
This year I asked for some different things, so I'm hoping I get a few of those.
All right. Any power tools?
No. I think it was. Yeah, I don't even remember, quite frankly, what I asked for, but I'm sure they wrote it down. They were great.
Well, they better. I'm
great
eager
idea.
to hear if they actually got
Yes,
the right gifts
yes.
this year.
I think some air tags, like a wallet with an air tag slot in it.
A titanium wallet.
A titanium
Ah,
wallet.
see, yeah. All right.
All right, some different things. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it. My dad obviously is not in the Army, so I gotta just call him.
Right.
But that's awesome that you have him so close and so convenient. So were there any obstacles that you had to overcome with your father being at that position?
So, like with the board, I had to go multiple times. So after my second time, my dad sat down with me. We did a mock board. He helped me with my dress blues, pinned them up correctly. And I went back to the board and I passed. So
All right.
that really helped a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was one of the, and there's been many, right? But that was one of the great opportunities or great advantages of being a command sergeant major and being stationed with my son. As I was getting here to Fort Hood, this was probably, I don't know, going on a year now, maybe a little bit less than that. My son had attended the promotion board, and the promotion board is tough, no matter who you are. And he had gone a couple times, and there had been some things that he needed to work on. And I was getting here at that exact same time, so we did a mass, studying preparation for the promotion board. And for a father to help their son out in anything that, I don't care if it's changing a tire or in this case studying for a promotion board, it's truly an awesome experience. But this was a great opportunity for me to take the many years of being in the Army and kind of pass that down to my son. Right. So we did. I'm sure there was many times he didn't like it because I was, instead of playing a video game, we were studying. Instead of doing something else that I'm sure he wanted to do, we were looking at his uniform and going to clothing and sales. And but it paid off. He passed the board, the very next board he went to, and then went on to BLC, and we're hoping here very shortly that he'll be getting promoted to sergeant. So
all right,
that's gonna be another great opportunity for me when that day does come. So he's actually deploying with 3rd Brigade, 3rd ABCT, 1st Cav. He's deploying to Europe soon, so we'll be missing him. Me and my wife will be missing him for a few months, but it'll be great. This will be the first time as a father that I'm not the one deploying, right? I'm here, and I'll get an opportunity to welcome him back, a few months from now, hopefully, when they come back. So
right,
yeah.
So how does it make you feel to be the one deploying instead of your father?
So actually, this is my second would be my second time going over to Europe. I went with Fort Stewart. So last time when I came back home, it was just my wife. But, I love my wife, and I was grateful that she was there to pick me up.
She's going to listen to this, so be careful.
Yeah, be careful what you say.
I would have had to walk home if she wasn't there. But having my dad there to come greet me back home is going to be an awesome experience, because I still remember when he was deployed and we would go to this huge hangar on an airfield, and then they would all just come in and then we would greet them. So being reversed, I'm really excited.
All right. And what was the best piece of advice that you got from your father since you've been in the Army?
I've given some good ones. Dads always give good advice.
Right? Listen to your fathers.
Yeah. I know what I think my best advice has been. I don't know if you would say the same thing.
Let's hear his first, and then I want to hear your part.
Yes.
When things are getting rough at work and you're working late, just pick up your head and suck it up.
I like it.
Yeah, I would agree. That's the exact same advice that I was going to say. What I would feel the best advice that, and not only to my son. I don't want people to think that this is just advice that I would give to my son. Actually, having my son in the same division that I'm serving in, quite frankly, I believe has made me a better leader. But I would say the best advice that I have given my son, and really any soldier, is the personal, pride and morale that one feels about serving in the Army. Right, things are going to get tough. I mean, even myself, I've been in for 27 years, and there are times when it's stressful at work, when you got a lot of things on your plate, when you're, you know how it is. You guys are in the Army. There's times that are tough. And the advice that I gave him that I think, he could take for as long as he's going to serve in the Army is to maintain a good attitude, because attitude, in my opinion, is infectious the same way that having a bad attitude is infectious. And when times are tough, whether it's on deployment, whether it's in combat, whether it's in the motor pool, just be the one that brings the morale up, not the one that takes the morale down. And you could say that about anything you do in life, right? Right. That's quite frankly, that's the advice I received from my dad, even before I would join the Army. Is, hey, have a good attitude about everything you do, and I've tried to do that in my time in the Army, and that's the advice I've given my son. So
I like it.
Yeah.
And do you have any advice for those fathers that do have sons or daughters that are thinking about joining the Army?
Yeah.
Whether they themselves have served or not?
Yeah, absolutely. And forgive me if I don't have the stats, but I believe it was our first Cav commanding general, it may have been our command sergeant major, that talked about serving in the military in general, right? So the vast majority of folks that serve in the Army or any service come from a history of serving, whether it was a father, a mother, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin. There's some connection to serving in the Army. And, I think that kind of makes things a little easier when you have a very close family member that has served. So it wasn't completely foreign to my son when he joined the Army. He grew up. He was born at Fort Bragg, and he lived all over the world, essentially serving with me and my wife.
Right.
But if there's a father, if there's a mother out there, and they have a son or daughter that's interested in serving, I would encourage them to really encourage their son or daughter to strongly consider it. Right. The Army is, in my opinion, one of the greatest organizations in our country. It provides so many benefits to the soldier, and I'm not talking about financial benefits or medical. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the things that you can't see, right? The pride in service, the discipline that it gives our young men and women. I mean, there's these things that you can't put your hands on, right? Those are the types of things that it provides. And I had an opportunity many years ago to serve as an Army recruiter, and I was in living rooms across South Texas talking to moms and dads, and I had this same conversation about, hey, your son or daughter is interested in serving in the Army. I would encourage you to also be interested in allowing them to serve, and
Right.
so I would just tell mom or dad to know that we have great men and women leaders in the Army that are going to care for their son or daughter the same way that that they would, and having my son in the first Cav, like I said earlier, has made me a better leader, in my opinion, because when I make decisions now, when I make, when I say things or do things, I consider if my son was in the Army, or I'm sorry, if my son was in my battalion, would this still be the same decision that I would make, knowing that it affects somebody so close to me?
Right.
So it's definitely made me a better leader. I know that for a fact.
Fantastic. All right. And I heard you recently re-enlisted. Did your father play a role in your decision to continue serving?
Yes, he did. So I re-enlisted for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
About 2 weeks ago.
Oh, very recent.
Yes. So I sat down. I was thinking of what I wanted to do if I were to get out, and I just couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I thought to myself, well, if my dad could do it, well, so can I. So
Amen.
I don't know if that's like a compliment or like if my dad can do it, then why so can I?
It's always a compliment.
Okay, I'll take it as a compliment.
So I just want to be like my hero. So
where's the tissues, please?
No tissues. No tissues. All right. And one last question. Are there any 1st Cavalry Division events you have taken your son to show the legacy and heritage he is joining, or any upcoming events?
Yeah, so that's, once again, there's like every week, it's truly been a great experience serving with my son. And, I think one of the first of all, when I was coming to the first Cav, I was about to sign in. The number one thing I did was take him to get a Stetson, right? Because
Amen.
You can't be a true cavalryman without a Stetson, right?
That's right.
So we went together, we got our Stetson, and then the first event he came to was my change of responsibility and patch ceremonies. I mean, really, anytime there's a ceremony on Cooper Field, I text my son to see what he's doing, and if he's got some free time, I drag him there and I make him wear Stetson and I make him wear his colored patch, and I make sure that he kind of understands the history and the lineage of the first Cav Division, First Cavalry Division. There's another ceremony coming up next week, I believe it is. I checked my calendar, but it's the Medal of Honor transfer ceremony taking place next week. And if you're not familiar with the Medal of Honor transfer ceremony or what it is, it's really the transferring of the Medal of Honor award from a family, and in this case from the Corporal Rubin family, over to the First Cavalry Division.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with Corporal Rubin's story, I encourage you to do a little internet search and hear a little bit about his life. I'll give you the Cliff Notes. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for action during the Korean War. Great story, right? Truly an awesome story. This, as a young boy, at the age of 13 years old, he survived a Nazi concentration camp. He eventually made his way over to the United States Army, to the United States, where he later served in the United States Army. Went and served and fought in the Korean War, where he was awarded the Medal of Honor. Truly an awesome story. Truly an inspiring story of how a young man can go through adversity in their life and the worst of the worst, right? To have survived a concentration camp and then later come and become a United States citizen, serve in the United States Army, fight in the Korean War, earn the Medal of Honor. And so it's just a great opportunity for the Corporal Rubin family to gift his Medal of Honor award over to the First Cavalry Division, where it will be on display for countless cavalrymen to see in the future. Right. So me and my son are going to be there.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I wanted to thank you both for coming on just in time for Father's Day weekend. So anything else y'all want to add before we head out?
I don't know. I think can I get like a hint at what I'm getting for Father's Day? I mean, because I was told that if we did the podcast, I'd find out one of my gifts.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it.
One?
Just one, a small,
Just one?
a hint.
Just a hint.
Just a hint, maybe.
Just a hint. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome. I don't think I want to spoil it.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, so I won't
right.
know. I'll let you know next week what I got.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Well, thank you both again.
Awesome, thank you.
Fast-moving floodwater can easily push your vehicle off the road and place you or your family in great peril. Even 1 foot of floodwater can exert 500 pounds of lateral force on a vehicle, pushing it off the road. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people on average drown in their vehicles per year in Texas. Fort Hood experienced 10 vehicle flood fatalities from 2016 to 2017 alone, and Bell and Coryell counties have had more than 30 fatalities each since 1959. I-35 connecting Dallas, San Antonio, and South Central Texas is known as Flash Flood Alley, and FEMA considers flooding to be America's #1 natural hazard. Flash floods in Central Texas can happen within only a few hours of rain, and their most active months are April, May, June, and October. Is it worth the risk of losing your life? Of leaving loved ones behind to try crossing? Overconfidence kills. Never drive into the water on roadways. It's not worth it.
Hi there, I'm Rachel Bethel. I'm the Public Services Librarian at Casey Memorial Library, and I just hope you guys step by. Casey Memorial Library is located at the corner of 72nd Street and 761st Tank Battalion Avenue, next to the CTC building. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 5 and have a large collection of items to check out, including books, audiobooks, movies, graphic novels, and video games. And an even larger selection of materials is available online. We also offer a variety of free programs and services for all ages, CAC-enabled computers for soldiers, and separate kids' rooms for families. All DoD civilians, retirees, active duty soldiers, and their dependents can get an account. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. We're available at 254-287-4921.
Well, you know, if it was me working with my father in the
yes.
same unit, nothing would get done. Me and my
Same.
dad are such jokesters.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be pulling pranks on each other instead of working all day.
But wait, that would be so much fun though.
It'd be like, it's literally like, it'd be The Office, but the Army version.
Ooh, I love that. I would.
It'd be-
That's a show I would watch.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I got my next script from
Oh
my
my
next TV
goodness.
show.
Yeah, I
Boom.
love that.
All right, I'm going to go write it.
Heck yeah. I can't wait to see that.
No one steal trademark. Copyright,
trademarking that right now.
trademarking. All right, that is mine. I'm going to make it. I promise one day.
I love that.
But yeah. So I'm so happy I got to talk to them, especially for
Father's
right before
Day.
Father's Day. Are you kidding me?
Yes, I know. That's
Oh,
so
man.
nice.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Speaking of Father's Day, so first of all, I got to shout out my father. Happy Father's Day. And also, today is his birthday.
What?
I know. So happy birthday to my dad.
Oh, that is
He's a
awesome.
loyal listener. So
Oh,
yeah, I
you gotta
have to
be.
say happy birthday. Yeah.
It's a great podcast.
I agree. It is a great podcast.
I got to get my dad to start listening so I can
You
shout him
should.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But
good
I'll shout
idea.
him out anyways. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I'll call him.
There you go. Just send them like the audio clip from you saying
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Be like, Here you go.
I'll just send that. I'll
Yeah,
clip that.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Well, speaking of birthdays.
I know. There's so many birthdays happening right
it's-
now.
Right?
Yeah. The Army just had their birthday.
247
That's
years
right.
old.
That's so old. They're
I'm
standing.
not going to be that old. I'll tell you that right now.
I would hope not. That would be scary.
If medicine ever gets
No,
that
thank
good,
you.
no,
I
I'm
don't
out.
want that. Yeah.
100 tops.
No. Yeah.
Good.
Even then, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how I'm
We'll
feeling.
play it out. We'll play it
Yeah.
by ear.
It's a day by day
Yeah.
decision, I
Who
guess.
knows? Who knows? We also have one more birthday.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say who it is?
It's Baby Pearl.
It's little Baby Pearl.
Baby Pearl finally came. Yes, so exciting.
Finally, that is
she
actually
was teasing
why
us for a while because she was supposed to be here.
she was originally, and then she bailed out last minute.
Corporal
and-
Pearl. We're not talking about the baby at this point.
Well, yeah, hopefully.
Corporal Pearl was supposed to be here. So unfortunately, she was like, I was supposed to come, but I can't because I'm having my baby.
Yeah.
So
we are super happy for her.
yes,
Though.
we are.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
That's
to
like
that
the
little
only
baby.
excuse though I'll let her have for not being here. So,
Honestly, fair. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not having a baby, you should be here.
well, don't say that because I wasn't here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying it.
Well, crap. I am not having a baby.
No,
so
you're
I
not.
guess, I
That's
have
so
to be here for
awkward. You just said that that's the only reason you'll let her slide. So that means that applies to you too.
All right, double standards. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well,
unless medicine catches up.
All right. Well, you'll hear from me about every podcast now because I forced myself into being here.
Yes, you
All
did.
right.
You tricked yourself.
I tricked myself. Darn it. Gosh darn it.
Speaking of being places.
Yes.
June 24th, which is next week, is Freedom Fest for Fort Hood.
Oh, what's Freedom Fest?
So we talked about this last week, which you would know if you had been here. So slight shade on you for that again. But it is the Fort Hood's 4th of July celebration.
Oh.
Yeah. So there'll be fireworks and some bands will be here. We have the ex-ambassadors coming. Cassidy Pope, the First Cav band will be there performing. Food trucks. It'll be a whole evening of activities to celebrate 4th of July, which we're doing a little early, if you didn't notice.
I have noticed.
Yes. So we're doing it early so that we can encourage people to attend other events. We are surrounded by so many great communities that have so many great events that we didn't want to, force you to pick one in a way. Like, you
rain,
can
rain on their parade, as it were.
As it were, yes. We want everyone to enjoy all the options. And plus, people tend to go out of town. And so you can celebrate with your Fort Hood family and friends and soldiers and coworkers and everybody else that works here and lives here. And yeah.
All right. Well, you can catch me there. I'll be standing right next to all the food trucks.
Yes, I figured. Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a foodie.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
we're
gotta watch
some
my
gestures
weight.
at stomachs now.
I gotta pass PT.
That's true. You do. I do not. So yeah.
Eat all the food you want. All the
I
food
will.
Truck
That's
food.
my plan, honestly. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
bringing my little chair and I'm just gonna set up right next to them. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Oh man. All right. Well, we hope to see you all out there. It's gonna be a
Absolutely.
great fun time.
Yeah.
So bring your family, bring your friends. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, and it's free. So
It's free?
It's free.
Oh my gosh.
So you have to be
now
there.
you have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. We're giving it to you at this point.
We are.
Oh,
man. Goodness.
All right. Well, one last final shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. And we will talk to you all next week.
See you next week.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Hood and Fort Hood Public Affairs production. The show's theme music is written and produced by Delicious All-Stars. All our music is obtained through Filter by Songtrader. Have a question or want to share some insights with us? Email us at forthoodpao@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at USAG Fort Hood. And as always, be sure to leave a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.